card trick, or more of a color change, I guess. A card slide. It's called the flip change, and it's a really cool change. You already saw the performance, but I'll give you another one right now. Basically, a card change or color change especially is when you take a card, and it's so cool when you can turn it to a card of another color, or even just another card in general. So in this case, it was another black card, but really it's just changing a card to another card, and it's super simple. So let's get into the tutorial. So what you want, and in the tutorial and in the performance, I actually had the spectator pick a card and turn it into a whole performance. So for example, if they choose the ace of clubs, I would leave the card on top, and then I would go ahead and do a pass, which looks like this. I basically bring that packet to the top in a really hidden way. That requires a lot of sleight of hand, so I won't get into how to do that. But instead, an alternate method you can use if you want to turn into a trick is when you have the spectator choose a card. Let's say they choose a 9 of hearts. You can place everything on top of it, digging your pinky in the packet to maintain a break. And that way you can start cutting cards and say you're just going to give it a little bit of a cut and take the whole packet eventually. So now you just control their card second from the top. And again, how you control their card second from the top is you just leave one card on the bottom where they choose their card. So let's say the spectator touches this card. I'm just say touch any card. I'll raise it up for them, bring the next most card to my thumb, show them their card, and then I'll just push everything in, and I'll put everything right back on top. And then I go ahead and again give it a cut, maintaining that break. And now their card is second from the top. And now that that's the case, you want to take the top card, which is, you're just going to say it's any random card, and you want to maintain, you want to get a pinky break above the next 2 cards. So in this case, I use a pinky count. You can even riffle through and just feel for 2 cards, but you want to get 2 cards so they're back to back like this. And again, when you lift it up, I don't take the whole deck away or flash the whole card like this because I don't want the spectator to see. So I just simply grab it by since I'm right-handed, I grab it by the bottom left with my thumb and the top right with my middle finger. But if you're left-handed, it's going to be the other way around, where you're going to have the deck in your right hand and hold it by the bottom right with your thumb and the top left with your middle finger. But I'm right-handed, so I'll talk for most right-handed people. Grab the cards with your thumb on the bottom right and your middle finger on the top. With your thumb on the bottom left and your middle finger on the top right, like this. And once you have that, you lift it up, pull with your ring finger and your thumb from your left hand on the card, and now the card has a lot of tension. And simply when you release, it's going to basically flip around, and you want to make sure it flips around towards your left, not towards your right, because then you can't have a reason to drop the cards because they're going to be facing away. But if they flip around this way, the cards are pretty much parallel with the deck, and you can simply drop them on the deck and hand the card over, and the spectator won't suspect that you actually had 2 cards. So when you have one card like this, you pull down, and now the card has a bend and lots of tension. And just with a simple pull, and it's a little knacky, it just takes a little bit of practice, but a little pull changes places. Again, you give it a little pull and it'll change places. Another little pull and it'll change places. And it's really fast, and especially if it's a new deck of cards, it's gonna be even faster, and it's gonna be astounding, and the spectator really won't suspect anything after you drop the cards. So again, when we have this, we pull, card changes, and right after, I like to drop the cards on the deck. I like to drop them and then make them all parallel, and then hand the card over, because now their card is on top. And while they're looking at this card, I like to cut this deck with one hand, or hide it, or shuffle it, or whatever. And then if they ask to see the next card, they'll see it's not their card. So again, you take their card right from the deck using a double lift. Pull the cards, they change, and you drop them. Here's what that would look like in like performance speed. All right, so you take the next card over, go ahead, pull it, and now they won't suspect a thing, and they can examine that card, and I'll shuffle this deck, have lost their card in that time, and their card is there. So again, just to recap, we take this with our thumb and our middle finger like this, and we pull with our left thumb and our ring finger, and that way the card will flip. And you'll get a lot of that happening at the beginning, where you'll be putting too much tension, it'll be flying out. So you want to start with just a bit of tension, so it just turns a bit like that, and eventually you'll tweak it up until you realize what the right amount of tension is to make the card change. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. More to come, a lot more color changes I planned, but I hope you enjoyed. Really simple, really easy, and I'll see you guys next time.